Hey scholars, this is a video explaining the extra credit assignment for our course. So make sure you have that document open, the extra credit document. Make sure you've read through it all the way before watching this video. That way you have a context for what I'm talking about. So I talked about this in class. This is worth up to 30 points. And what you're going to do is locate an article. Obviously, you don't have to do this. And if you choose to do it, make sure you follow directions so you'll get the full 30 points. Um, Make sure you submit it by the deadline. I mentioned there's a 24-hour late submission deadline. If it's not submitted after that, then there's no opportunity for points or credit. Um, it has to come from one of these journals. So the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, or the Journal of Communication, or the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior. So you have three journals to choose from. So the article has to come from one of those. And I'll explain how to access those journals in just a second. Once you have your article, what you're going to do is basically four things. One, you provide the reference in APA format. Here's a sample where you have the authors, the year, the title of the article, obviously the title of the journal, which will be one of those three, and then the issue number, the page numbers. If it's not perfect, no worries, but that's the APA format. Make sure you include all the important things: authors, year, title, the journal article, and of course the journal, and then the issue number, page numbers are important. The first part of the analysis is giving a summary of what happened. So I give you some sample questions. What was studied? What were the authors researching? What were they trying to argue? Were their hypotheses supported? What were they trying to figure out? Like, what were they studying? What did they come up with? You're kind of giving an overall, like, here's what the article is all about. Here's what they found, and so on and so forth. Um, Before you start any of this, you need to read through the article thoroughly. So I would recommend that you print it out. For some people, it's a lot easier to read something when it's printed out. That way you can take notes on it. But if you don't need to do that, fine. But I recommend that you print it out. And as you're reading through the article, underline things, take notes on things, circle things, and so on and so forth. When you get to the section that says methods, usually there's a section that says methods, and they talk about all their statistical analyses that they use to analyze the data. I'd say read through that part, but that's not as important for you to know as the other parts. Like they're going to have a literature review in the beginning where they're talking about they're providing a context for what they're studying. Then they talk about what they're wanting to figure out. They'll provide either hypotheses or a research question or some of both. They'll talk about what they did, like I said, the methods. Um, all that stuff's important. But once they get into like, usually it's quantitative research methods, all the statistics stuff. If you don't understand that, that's fine. You should still read through that, read through the numbers and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, then they explain the outcomes. Typically, that's the format. They'll After they provide the methods and all the figures and the outcomes, and they'll explain the outcomes. They explain the numbers and the statistics, and then they have the discussion section. Here's what it all means, um, directions for future research, conclusion, all that kind of stuff, limitations. So it could take a while to read through the whole article. That's why I mentioned in class, I would say go for a shorter article. Most of them are going to be at least around 10 pages, but sometimes you find a 20, 25-page article, which, hey, it might be a great article, but that'll take you a long time to read a 25-page scholarly academic article. It's not necessary. So yeah, in that part two, give a summary of what happened. Part three, explain the relevance of this article to human communication. So I give you some sample questions. How does it help us better understand human communication? How might it be related to anything you personally experienced? You can relate it to yourself or someone else or a movie or a film. This is application. How is it relevant to things that we've discussed in class or through lectures or activities, etc. So be real specific there. And then the last part is the implications. What implications does it have for future interactions in the world of human communication? So this is more like your voice. How is this relevant? Like what's like this is answering like the so what questions. So what? So they found this information. I was like, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to the world? And so on and so forth. Um, do you think the data provided can make things better in terms of communication? If yes, how so? If no, why not? If you don't, then how do you think improved communication can be achieved based on the research? How do you think improved communication within the context of the subject that they're talking about. So maybe they're talking about online dating relationships or cross-country dating relationships or dating relationship in the workplace or nonverbal behaviors or sell strategies or the nature of handshakes. Like there's thousands of potential topics, and you're gonna talk about like how a big given what you read in the article, how is this related to or how can things be better in the future, basically. So yeah, part 4 is your voice. Part 2, just a summary. Part 3, that's application. You're showing how you understand the way what you read in the article is connected to something outside of the article, something in your own personal experience, class, etc. Part 4, your voice. Like, how do you think this impacts future communication? I say the summary should be about 2 to 3 pages, meaning that if you had 1-inch margins all around and it was double spaced, 2 to 3 pages. Write in essay form, should be formal. You can write in the first person. The part 2 you wouldn't write in the first person, but parts 3 and 4 it would make sense that you write in the first person. It should still be formal, and that's that. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to find these journals. So you want to have your computer open, so you might want to hit pause and then come back when you have your computer open and ready to go. So once you can either go to just the Fullerton website, fullerton.edu, and go to Pollock Library, or if you're in your portal, if you're logged into your portal, you can go directly to library. In case you didn't know, when you click on log into your portal, it says home, Canvas, and then they have all that stuff, all the user apps and whatnot. But they're all alphabetical. I'm guessing mine looks different than yours. But you go to library. Anyways, make sure on the Pollock Library homepage. Then on the top left, you'll see a thing that says find, a drop down arrow that says find, and then you go to journals by title. Click on journals by title. And then in the journal search, it says enter title or ISSN, and then type in, for the first one, social and personal relationships. You'll see it pop up halfway through writing that. It'll say Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. You click on that, and then it'll say 1 of 1 results, Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. It says online, and then you see where it says full text availability, Sage Journals Premiere 2014. Click on that. If you're doing this from home, it might require you to log into the system, and then it shows you here's the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. It shows the current issue and all issues from all these years. So one thing you could do is you could look through the issues if you want and just see what kind of stands out to you, or you can search this journal. At the top it says search this journal, enter search terms, and then think about anything that's in the area of social and personal relationships. You can type in breakups. You can type in family drama, like whatever you can think of, type it in, because there's the search box is accessing like thousands of articles from I don't know, 4 decades of research or something like that. So that's one way to do it. Or like I said, you can just click on individual issues, but then you're sort of you don't really know what you're looking at. But as you click on each issue, then it'll give you the titles of all the journal articles from that issue, and if something stands out to you, go for it. And then if you go back to Pollock Library, click on Journals by Title. You can type in Journal of Communication. So Journal of Communication, it should pop up right away. Or if you type in Journal of Communication, hit enter, you'll see that, oh, actually there's a bunch of results. But the one that you want is the very first result. It'll say Journal of Communication online. And then you click on that, and then it says full text availability, and there's a few options. Choose the one that says Oxford University Press, 1996 to the current, so you have 27 years of articles. Within this, you can click on issues and just look at the specific issues, or go to that on the far right hand corner, kind of towards the top, you'll see just that magnifying glass. That's the search box. Click on that and then type in search terms. You can type in talking to yourself, online communication, cross-cultural communication, like whatever you can think of. So Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, it's more like relationship stuff. Journal of Communication is all things communication, like anything you can think of, it's going to be in there. I would recommend choosing something that's interesting to you. Go back to Pollock Library. This is for the nonverbal behavior. Go to Journals by Title, and you type in Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, and it pops up right away after you're halfway through Nonverbal Journal of Nonverbal Behavior. Click on that one, you'll have one result. And then, oh yeah, that first one says EBSCO communication source available from 1992. It says the most recent year is not available. That's fine. Click on that one. And then it says full text. Oh, it says search within this publication. So it says publication details for Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, and there's a bunch of information. And then you see that little blue hyperlink that says search within this publication. You can click on there, and then you'll see there where it says it looks like a database kind of search thing, where it says JN Journal of Nonverbal Behavior down below. You can type in like whatever you want, handshakes, and type that in, see what you get. Yeah, not a whole lot of options there. But if you type in other types of things like say something like smiling at strangers pops up, smiling at strangers, and you get nothing. So this is part of the process. But if you type in smiling within Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, you'll see 39 articles, and then there's all kinds of articles with regards to smiling. So there's a variety of ways that you can search the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior. You could just, if you didn't feel like searching within the search box, you can go back to that first search, and then it says all issues and articles, and then there's on the far right hand corner, it has 2023, 2022. You click on that one, like 2021. There's a drop down arrow, volume 45, issue 4. You click on that, and then it gives you all of the articles from that issue. So all that to say, there's a lot of different ways that you can get an article. All you need is one. So I showed you each of those 3 journals, how to access them, and all the different ways that you can locate an article. So that is the extra credit assignment. Not required, but if you're wanting an extra up to 30 points, if you do it the correct way, that's how you do it.